So, coronavirus is still ravaging the city of Newark and still ravaging New Jersey. We up to like 6,000 cases. And today it was real warm. I was out there doing some work, uh, protecting myself, using my hand sanitizer. But when you have these type of weather fluctuations from rainy and cold to hot and so on and so forth, it's good to get some real good nutrients in you. And the best way to get some good nutrients in you is a nice soup. I'm going to make my famous coronavirus COVID-19 split pea soup it's gonna knock sparks out your ass. It's gonna be that shit. So hang out while we lock down in Newark, the Brick City. Lock in with me. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's make our way to the kitchen. All right, here we go. So we're gonna start. All right, so here we are. Now this is my base ingredients that I like to use. I start with the carrots. You gotta have your mix with your celery, right? But I like to get a little funky with it and add in some bok choy. So I'll go half the celery and add the bok choy. 1 whole onion. Sometimes I do 1.5. And this big old mushroom. Now you see, most people, they don't throw in a mushroom in their split pea soup. You know why they don't throw in a mushroom? Because they don't know what the hell they're doing. That's why they don't. All right, a couple of cloves of garlic, but I got a surprise. I got in some of these elephant garlics. Look at these motherfuckers. Look how big. Look how big these things is. Shit just like goat nuts. This big old elephant garlic. So I'm not even going to use this whole clove. I'm just going to use some because this is coronavirus split pea soup. This isn't your regular. So you want to load it up with all the things that's good. So this is something I usually wouldn't put in there, but since Corona don't like hot, I'm gonna throw in 1 Scotch bonnet pepper, for the Caribbean folks out there. And you always need some Flavor Flav. You know what time it is. Remember the Flavor of Love? He would always say, you know what time it is? So we're gonna rock out with that. So 1 nice sprig of thyme. I might split this, pull a few off. You don't need a lot. All right? All right. So I'm going to chop this up and I'll be right back. We kind of do overkill out of habit. So I'm gonna put that in there, and I'm gonna get one of these. Look at this garlic. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna take a little less of that. So I'm just gonna chop it down a little bit. Throw that in there, and you know what? I want some more of that. Chop that up. So that's my garlic. All right, I'm gonna do 2 celeries and 2 bok choys Not really gonna mess with all the leafy part. Just rip that off. You know what I mean? And celeries and bok choys are kind of like, they're like cousins. You know what I mean? So you want to get your celery. Get your celery cut up. We're gonna do a little quick stir fry. So we're gonna do a little quick stir fry. We use olive oil. Got my pot getting hot, and my pan rather, and just a dribble. We don't want to do too much. Just a little. Ooh. That's good right there. Just a dribble. And what you want to do is you're just trying to soften up your ingredients. So I always like to do hard to soft. So we'll start with the carrots. Since they're the hardest, little carrot jump ship. Get that in there. So I'll start with that. Then I'll add the onion, and then I'll add the garlic and the bok choy celery mix. All right, so I got my pot out here. This is the pot I'm gonna cook the split pea soup in. All right, and if you have chicken broth, then it's a good time. You know, it's best to use that. I don't have chicken broth, so I'm gonna rock out with the chicken stock. I got the bouillon cube. So we're gonna do that in lieu of having some real live chicken broth in here. But because it's coronavirus time and it was a rush on, you know, supplies, and look at this. Tell me you don't smell that. And this right here is just a little mixture. Now I don't have to do that. I don't have to start here. I could just go right to the pot with this and just cook it down. But I'm doing it this way because I think it kind of just brings the food alive, right? And so that's how I like to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in this bok choy. We might as well just make it a party. Boom. And you see that mushroom top. Okay. That's something that a lot of people don't deal with, but we're going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with you. And keep in mind, still got my garlic with the elephant garlic, that big old goat nut. And so I'm going to go with 3 cups of water with the stock in there. So I got my Goya split peas. This is a little over at, it's like 3/4 bag right here. And I usually don't cook this, so I'm about to put like half a bag. I'm gonna leave about 1/4 of a bag in there. I'm just gonna dump it in here with my stock. It's fine. I'm gonna dump that in here, as you can see. Alright, I'm not good with this recording stuff, so bear with me. I'm not a professional. I'm leaving about 1/4 of a bag. You know, about 20% left in there. And that's what I'm rocking with. And then, stir that. So I want to get this boiling and get these split peas moving and grooving. Then I'm going to add this, as y'all can see. This right here. Listen, you can just cook this down, throw some sea salt on it, and you got yourself a beautiful thing. You're going to have something special. So I'm letting that do that. Now I'm going to toss in my garlic, because garlic is interesting. It releases, you know, garlic is very sensitive. So you don't got to cook garlic too much. But because it's going in the soup, you know, it's all going to be in there. We're going to catch all of that. The Scotch bonnet, the Corona don't like heat. It doesn't like nothing hot. And someone will say, well, it's, just because it tastes hot doesn't mean it's real hot. Nigga, it's heat. Don't play with me. All right? So As you can see, I cut up my big ass mushroom. I never did it with the mushroom, but for some reason I think that it's gonna add some type of flair or help with like the smoky texture. All right. Also, a lot of people use smoked turkey necks, or they use some type of pork. We don't cook with pork, but I got some smoked turkey tails, and I've made it a few times with the turkey tails, and I'll tell you, it works. I think I prefer the tails better than the neck bone, so we're rocking out with turkey tails. And how I came upon it was because everybody bought up all the smoked turkey necks out the store. From fast food, you're insane right now. If you're still, buying food from the Chicken Shack, the China restaurant, any of those things, you're crazy. It doesn't make any sense. One thing I was thinking one time, I went to the Chinese Shack, right? And I was, not the Chinese Shack, I was at the Chicken Shack. And I don't know what country the dude is from. So we don't like to waste. Get that. And by saving that onion, it's actually a pressure cooker. So let me get the top to my pressure cooker. It should be in here. I see it. All right. So now the secret weapon is this pot is a pressure cooker. Ah, you thought I ain't know about pressure cooking. You're an idiot. Thing is, once that thing is moving, the top don't like to go on. There we go. So now we got the top on. The water's boiling. Let me take a sip of my Kool-Aid. Oh yeah, Kool-Aid is back, y'all. When shopping for the coronavirus, I had to make some sacrifices. So we got some real juice, but I got Kool-Aid. I know it's not good for you, but maybe my next video will be on coronavirus Kool-Aid. All right. So the little button popped up on the pressure cooker, which is letting me know that we have full pressure. So now I can turn this heat down. All right. And I'm going to let this do what it do for about 20 minutes. That's it. I'll be back. So I was slipping a little bit. All right. So I had to take it back a little bit because I forgot what time it was. So I got to get them. I'm just going with 2 sprigs at a time. All right. I don't want to get it too crazy. So I got a lot going on in there. But as you can see the mushrooms in there. And it's looking a little, I'm glad I opened it back up because it's looking a little thick. The water's looking a little light. And those peas ain't even start drinking yet. So I'm going to add a little more water to this. So we're going to add some more water. There we go. Because you want it to look soupy when it first start out. You want it to look kind of soupy because those peas are going to start drinking. And once they start drinking, they get real fat. So go ahead and put this lid back on. Come on, baby. All right. You see it's starting now. I know you probably can't see that steam. It's starting to steam. You're going to see that. Whoop, there it go. That means we got full pressure. So I'm going to turn it down. Now, a lot of these YouTube videos you see with people making food, they got them new mechanical pressure cookers. But this is old school. This is like what grandma used to have. This is one that'll blow your kitchen up, pressure cooker. They had the ones, they didn't even have no release valves. They just had to pray to Jesus. But you see, got the nice release valve there. So we're gonna let that rock for 20 minutes, and I'm gonna come back and show you how I finish it off. All right, so 20 minutes is up. Now I'm gonna let this naturally. I could let out the steam like that, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna naturally let it simmer down, let the pressure come down, and then I'm gonna move into step 2. So at this point, you're 85% done, probably 90% done. And some people, they have different methods what they do, but I like to do it my way. Some people, they use a hand blender. I just use a my regular straight up and down blender. Some people, they like it chunky. I like it blended real smooth. You're gonna see, you're gonna love it. All right. So now that it's been boiled down, this is something that you kind of want to see. And you see, that's what you're looking for. So what you want to do is, you want to get your turkeys out of here. And if you can find your thyme, you fish those out. But if you can't find them, that's fine. I don't see them. You want to give it a kind of a stir. Stir that up. And you'll find some parts that are kind of clumped at the bottom, but that's okay because we're going to blend it all up and it's going to be dope. All right. So now we got it in the blender. I'm going to start it on a little lower setting. It's coming out the top. You see it's bubbling out the top. That's how good it is. Alright. I'm going to pour it in there. That's our split pea. Now with your turkey butts, you're going to want to shred those up. So usually with just a fork and I could shred that up. So I'm going to do that off camera and show you the finished product. So I've separated the meat off the bones here. And some people, they don't want to mess with the skin or the little fat pieces. You could take those out if you want, that's fine. Some people, they just throw this out altogether. They're trying to avoid eating meat. That's even better, a better thing for you to do. And the best would be not have any meat on your plate at all, if you're vegan. But we're not there yet, so I'm gonna move those bones, and I'm gonna break this down a little bit more, but I'm just gonna dump it back into the stew, stir it around, and probably let it cook for another 5 minutes, and then that'll be that. All right. I just put the meat in there. Just gonna stir that around. And it's pretty hot. I don't even really need to. You see, like, you probably can't see the steam, but it's still, you can see a little bit of it. Steam is still coming up off the pot. That's how hot this was. So I'm not even going to turn the heat back on. I'm going to have my first taste. Now, because you use a smoked turkey butt or a turkey neck or whatever meat you choose, or if you want to do it the best way, no meat at all, You notice I haven't added any salt to it. So I'm gonna give it a taste. Now, it really doesn't need any salt, but I'm gonna add some salt. This is Himalayan pink sea salt. So you're gonna use salt. Use sea salt. Don't use that table salt. That table salt is aluminum, and you don't want to mess with that. All right. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this in here. Let me get going with that. So now I got my salt in, and I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a stir. And as you can see, this is a beautiful thing. All the vegetables are gone. They were pulverized. You'll also notice that, it just looks hearty. You can see little bits of goodness in there. And this is gonna be something serious. All right, here I am at the table. This is my split pea soup. I made some fresh rolls to go with it. I'm about to have my first official taste. So hang out and you can see me get busy. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and have a test taste, see how we're doing, see how it works. My guy, my dude, this right here, this is what you want. This is what you want when you want something that's going to be light on your stomach, that you know is filled with nothing but goodness, nothing goofy. I made these crescent rolls. I already know how it's going to taste. These fresh crescent rolls, Pillsbury crescent rolls. So I already know how good it's going to be. Let's see here. That Scotch bonnet pepper gives a little bite in the back of the throat. That's what you want. You want that bite because that's where Corona wants to live. It wants to invade your nasal passages, wants to get into your throat. And if you do have an exposure, you want to limit your viral load. You want to do whatever you can to combat this. And I'm quite sure it's a pretty weak virus. I know that Scotch bonnet gives it that 1-2, 1-2, and I already know how good it's going to be with that roll. Usually I eat these with crackers, saltines. It's going to be too much for me to deal with. I already know, because I could smell it. The first taste is smell, right? So I can smell the rolls. I know it's going to be great. I've already took a couple bites out of them because it was good. So let me see here. Make it with the rolls. Make it with the rolls. Oh my God! When you make the rolls, put it higher on the rack in the oven. So I was about to put it on the middle rack, but I said, you know what? No, I'm gonna put it on a higher rack. Oftentimes we want to get right to the heat and thinking that's going to make things cook quicker, cook better, but that's how you mess them up. These right here are perfect. Stay safe, y'all. Stay out of the fast food restaurants. Stay out of the chicken shack. Stay out of the China shack. Don't go to the Chick-fil-A, none of that goofy stuff, Burger King and Mickey D's. Eat at home. This type of meal here, some of y'all kids who are used to fast food, they might not dig it. After a few times, they will. Peace and blessings. Oh yeah. We coming straight out of Newark, the Brick City. Showing you how we do out here in the neighborhood. So Newark, stay safe. Be easy out there, be careful out there, wash your hands, take precaution, don't feed into conspiracy theories. It's better to err on the caution on the side of being safe than saying that there's no big deal and running out there. All right, the body counts is racking up. This is New Jersey, this is a hot spot. All right, we #2 in the nation. Like 8,000 people with this shit right now, confirmed. My friend's girlfriend who works by the PNC stadium, this PNC arena, where they're doing testing, says when she drives by there, that thing is packed every day. And as you know, they can't test everybody. The testing site's only up for like 2 hours, and they got to send everybody home. They reach their limit, right? So don't be fooled. Stay in the house. Don't eat that street food. Leave it alone. Let this be a month or so where you don't eat no street food. Just don't do it. You can't trust who's making that food in there. You don't know what they're doing in there. You don't want to put that stuff in your mouth. You want to eat this, you know? So I'll put some of my other little recipes, because Kool-Aid is back, right? Kool-Aid is back. I haven't drunk Kool-Aid in like 20 years. 30 cents a packet, you know how much, and you ain't supposed to be eating juices and sodas and stuff, but I do. But how much big things of juice can you really have? So I got some Kool-Aid, man, and I made it, and I know it's, it got some bullshit in there, but I did my best to add a little twist to it to make it a little more healthy, to help fight some of that stuff that's in there. It ain't the best for me, so Kool-Aid is back, and you never forget that Kool-Aid taste. When I first tasted it, I said, oh God, that's Kool-Aid. So, peace, y'all. From Newark to Brick City, this is Big Dev. Checking out. Wash your hands, wash your face, wash your body, wash your ass. Peace.